what led to this disagreement with Mika? Like, how did this escalate further? Because Mika was like disagreeing with you at some point.
Well, she did mention at one point, not sure which video. I think it was again the Kyoro and Yun disagree. The Yun and Kyoro video where she explained herself. She mentioned at one point throughout that video, okay, I usually watch flow when it comes to information like that, but since we had a disagreement, I have never mentioned my disagreement to anyone publicly before. That's the issue. She brought it up first. So obviously, how am I supposed to tell everyone that the disagreement started exactly 4 months ago? How was I supposed to say that, and how it built up this way?
And that's because like you chose to be silent about it since it started escalating further.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
All right. I'm gonna ask something from the optional question. So, this is during the this is like the 4 months ago, like whenever you were talking to Fox and Mika. Do you think Ajax shouldn't have intervened with the situation? Like, this is something that people were mentioning about Ajax shouldn't have
Yeah, a
done that.
lot actually. Um, there has been this lots of questioning regarding whether Ajax or even myself shouldn't have been involved in the situation. And what I can't explain for Ajax, you're gonna have to ask Ajax himself on why he got himself involved. For me, it was people pushing Mika to contact me, and when I saw that people were recommending me to be the mediator for Mika's situation, since Mika was not ready to talk face to face to Wise Fox. Um, that's why I said in my document I volunteered, but in reality, it's more of people pushed my name to be mentioned and to put myself between the two to solve the situation.
All right, so I'll see if I can try and contact Ajax about the situation, see if I can talk to him about it either via voice
I
call or
mean,
messages.
I think he will be very happy to discuss things as well. I mean, if it is to have a conversation that summarizes absolutely everything with all the perspectives, it would be a lot for everyone to understand how did it build up this way. But I simply can't speak for Ajax at all, since it's his perspective, it's his version of things.
Although he did, I think what I learned about is like he wanted to talk to Mika as well. Is that what I was
Yeah.
hearing correctly? Okay, I need a clarification. So let's see here. Let's. Actually, I want to ask something like, what was your initial thought of Mika's apology video? Because that's what I was actually concerned about.
The recent one,
Y-
like the one that was
yes,
made.
like, yeah, the one that she
Okay.
recently made.
Okay. Um, really trying to rush things off. I felt like she was pressured to apologize for something she believes she didn't do, which led to this very global statement of "I'm sorry to anyone I've hurt." And it's not precise. It's not something that indicates why she apologizes for hurting people. Pretty much, it's like a reply to my 8-minute video without mentioning the document, or barely mentioning the document in that case. And I purposely put a lot more information into the document simply because I couldn't concise in a video format what I wanted to say.
All right, so
And
that's
the video by itself, the 8-minute video I made by itself, was not technically an exposed video. It was just me expressing my feelings. It was not meant to bring Mika's career to the ground. That was just me trying to clarify some things and expressing myself. It was nothing more than that.
yeah, that's what I was actually expecting because these are kids we are talking about and they don't know the full situation that's going on behind closed doors.
That's the main issue, because this entire situation that has lasted for 4 months, mostly happened behind the YouTube sphere.
Exactly. And I think what I'm looking at right now, because I just watched Crow's video on
Mm-hmm.
Mika's apology, and I think there were a lot of people that really didn't go on his side because he said like he wasn't supposed to talk trash about Mika, but he still talks about it in a way that she needs to know that her behavior is influencing these children to actually threaten people. You,
Mm.
Crow, and other people that were involved here.
Mm. I mean, we all have a way to express what we want to say, our opinions. There are some people who rather go in the most brutal form. Sometimes it has good intention to be brutally honest, but at the same time, it can easily backfire because the other person who's being ranted on can say, "Oh, but you're saying rude things. That's mean. That's they can backfire it and say that the renter is the problem because they express their opinion in a way that is not correct, quotation not correct. And then there's other people who either do not go into the detail of things and just say what's generally known by the public, and there's some who go into topic and actually try to be as respectful as possible. So yeah, it's actually now going into the how a gacha renter acts in the gacha community, and this entire thing led to question if gacha renters were necessary inside of the gacha community or not, which is actually a very good and important question to answer.
Because usually for us, there has to be like a balancer between the good side and the bad side. Because for us, like if we are renters, we need to actually see what is behind the situation. There are no black or white. We're all gray here.
Hmm. And people think that I'm saying that I'm absolutely 0% guilty and I'm like this pure angel, but I'm not. That's the issue. And people do not understand that as a person, I have my own share of responsibilities. I did not deny that I did decisions that led to this entire thing, and I explained, even inside of my document, that my decisions, I believe, led to this consequence, and I'm ready to take accountability for them. But still, there are people who still believe that I was trying to manipulate the audience, and like there's a lot, and I simply can't ask for people to believe me, obviously, because why would I force my version of things on people? That
That
makes absolutely no sense.
because we're talking about kids here, like they don't take everything to their mind. Like we know that they're underdeveloped and they should know, like they should take their time to understand why this is happening and why this
Mm,
person started behaving very oddly and negatively to other people, such as you, because you are a 20-year-old 22-year-old woman. I'm 18
mm,
and I'm gonna be honest, like I've handled kids that have, well, these type of behaviors as well. They're like deflecting, and I've witnessed this personally. I really
mm.
believe like people should look into this because it's, I wouldn't want to say it's psychologically possible for that, but they have to remember that behaviors like what you do to that person hurts them in an emotional manner.
Mm. Plus, it's not like a majority of the people involved, so Crow, Jack, now, etc., most of them are adults, and if they are not adults, they are 17 at max.
17 being like the
And
minor age still.
yeah, it's it's a lot to consider because this is the older side of the gacha community and not the younger silly drama happening to the younger audiences. So there's this shift of people realizing, oh wait, those people actually are adults, or at least most of them. And sometimes people say, oh, but they're adults, they should be more mature than this. And sometimes they say, wait, hold up, there's something missing, there's something off about this whole thing. it can lead to a lot of confusion and a lot of questions on why are mostly adults in this situation. But that's because simply adults do not expose their best friends on the internet the moment they say something bad about them.
They
No,
need
they
to
try to solve things. They try to solve things in a civil and polite manner before doing those videos.
they try to simmer down the milk from the fire, is what I would say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. So third question that I want to ask is like, what made you release the Google document on your side after some time of your silence, like your 2 week break initially?
So, when I realized that things were going way too far with now receiving death threats and Jack as well, and maybe not directly, but Jack was also being targeted, I realized that I needed to step back and go back to everything that has happened from the very beginning of the situation up until now. And whenever there was something more added up, for example, the doxing that was really unexpected, I had to add it up. When it was something related to another person who was indirectly involved, I still had to add it because I believe it is necessary that many perspectives were added inside of this document. But I also wanted to be transparent with people. Like I said, that I'm not afraid to have my conversations leaked because every time I say something, I at least have responsibilities for them. I'm not gonna lie. And seeing that Mika in private would delete messages and delete screenshots or pretty much try to delete stuff and then show screenshots of me having a conversation with her with deleted messages and show an entire different story because the the following of the messages once some of them are deleted is completely different. I simply just can't stand there watching there. Like during the Crowva situation with the doxing and the entire thing, at some point Mika leaked a lot of my conversations with her. Obviously I do not mind. Like I'm okay with that. It's just that she presented it in a way that apparently Crowva, or at least one of their server members, was responsible for doxing. Well, doxing because Mika believes it's not doxing, but I believe it is. Doxing her. And that was not my initial thought at all because previously, before stating those words, she would say, hey, look at this server when there's like people talking bad about me and mentioning you.
Alright.
And she was wondering if I was inside of that server, and I said, no, I do not recognize those people.
Okay.
Obviously, that is gone. So now there was a lot of motivations to create this document. Transparency, clarifying some things, and also mention that Mika's side of the story is kind of a bit manipulated evidence wise, and it needs full context.
And that's what I was trying to do. I'm getting lunch, so let's see. Recording's resumed, and you were gonna continue, or was that all you said earlier?
That's all what I said.
Alright. Now, I did want to mention something about Mika's doxing. Like, do you think she forged the doxing allegation to victimize herself? Like, this is something that I really wanted to know.
In my personal opinion, again, not the truth, my personal opinion, there's a lot of things that contradict each other. She told me in private that her name and some of her personal information that no one knows has been leaked in that email. And in the video explaining and responding to Crowva, she says that no, I was not doxxed, and Flo just said that because she was worried.
Oh.
And again, I was really confused because why would she tell me that in private, but also show conversations of us in the public in that video, where she also has this mentioned. Like, if anything, the only thing she deleted apart from the Crowva stuff, from that conversation, was actually her saying, "I told my parents," because I told her previously, if this is truly your information and this is truly something very dangerous that concerns you and the security of your family, you have to tell your parents and call the authorities. And there were 3 messages after that. 1, okay, I told my parents about it. They are worried. 2nd, I don't understand why someone would do this. They found my name and other private information. And then she tells me to, if I remember correctly, to delete the community post that I made because she was afraid to receive more emails from that person.
Alright, so I'm gonna have a personal take here because I've taken empowerment technology as a subject for senior high school. The only possible way that she could have gotten, the doxer could have gotten her email address is if, I'm not sure if this was right, it's either the phishing or farming tactics, because if they were able to get the password to her email, then they would have known, like, whatever she sent or whatever they see in her video, but that is impossible. But unless she exposed it to someone and someone actually saw the email, then they would have used that email to actually message her through your emails. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened, because she told me slightly later on that she shared that email to some of her friends, and she believed it is one of her friends disguised as something disgusting like the doxer to scare her to remove the video. But that's something she never told to anyone. She was like, I shared this email to my friends. I need to find to who I shared my email with. But she never further expanded on that.
And I think we know this because we watched Crow's video on that doxing allegation, and he said that this was sent to her 3 hours later from Mika's screenshot. And the allegation that she said that she might have tried to forge this, and that's the reason why I came up with the question, like, did she forge it herself just to play victim? Like, that's a point of
I mean,
view.
personally, I just can't exactly put myself into whether this is real or not. Yes, it is very suspicious, but at the same time, Mika does not want to provide more information about who did this to her. And since then, no one has come out to say, okay, I'm the one who did this. That's the main issue. If anything, we have no one, not even the supposedly doxer himself, backing up this. So it's very difficult to validate this information. We just have to know that, okay, now it's there, but is this real? Is this false? We'll never know.
It's just
because
an
of the lack of
allegation.
evidence.
Alright. This one might be some what people think. Like, we've heard Crow say this multiple times. I don't think anyone else has said this. Like, do you think that Mika was starting a hate campaign against you and other ranters that were spreading awareness and calling her out on her actions? Like, this is something very important for your
I mean,
safety.
like I said at the very first question, this is a buildup of a lot of things. There's like Pochi, who told everyone that she was clickbaiting, and that because of that, I remember with Pochi, we received comments from Mika's audience saying, hey, Mika said that Looney quit it, or Nadisha Artas quit it. Can you make a video on this? And that's why Pochi made this video. It's because both him and myself received comments because of people who believed those videos, who believed in the clickbait. And we just couldn't say, oh, well, no. But because it was growing bigger and bigger. Even in the Gacha Life 2 side of things, we also received as mods people saying that Looney is gone. What are we gonna do? And we were trying our best to refute those accusations. So yeah, it did lead to a lot of trouble, not just for us renters, but for us Gacha Life 2 staff mods. And Pochi made this video hoping that it will clear everything, that it's not just something that you should believe 100%. It is clickbait. You need to watch the entire thing before saying such statement and trying to get us to make videos on something that is false. And of course, Mika did not like this, but Pochi ignored her comment, and then Natasha came in and blames Pochi for not doing enough research.
I
Which
do.
is which is ironic because 1 week later, when Mika made her video featuring Kyo and Yoon, people, especially the gacha renters, used what her big sister has said towards Pochi to send it back to her, saying, "Yeah, Mika, you should have done your research."
Now, the only thing is, I do want to mention something because we all know Looney's an adult, and of course, people might clickbait on why he's gone or
Mm.
he's missing. But we know as adults that he has, like, his own situations in reality, and
And
not
that
just
that's
online.
something and that's something young kids don't understand just yet, is that we adults have a life
Responsibilities.
and responsibilities aside of YouTube. Unless unless you're a full-time YouTube creator, which fair enough, but here it's not the same. Looney is coding and programming games. Me, I have my studies to do. A lot of us have our studies to do. We have something on the side. So
We can't
yeah,
always be
on,
present.
mm, it's only the younger side of the gacha community that does not realize how school is going to be even more impactful on them, and that afterwards jobs are going to be more impactful on them.
How
So yeah.
it's kind of ironic that you mentioned job, and I just got out of my work immersion. It's actually true. Work is very difficult, and you need to work that 9 to 5, just so you can
mm,
understand that life isn't always easy. Like you have stepping
yeah.
stones.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Like this is something I really I see a lot of documenters and interviewers actually ask this to the victims of this situation. Like, do you seek forgiveness in Mika if she apologizes properly and addresses the issues clearly and truthfully?
I mean, when I tried that in private, she kept on deflecting everything, saying that I was a liar, that the words she told me, or at least not told me, but told to other people, were not that bad, and in public said that those words were stupid, and she never apologized for those in private at there. So, if anything, I just want her to change without interacting with me anymore.
A-
That's how bad it is.
And that's the reason why you have her blocked on all socials.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. I did have like one more question, but if it's okay, yeah? Because this
I mean,
is
you
like
can
this is on
you
Crow
can
because I've noticed like his their videos a lot. So, do you think
yeah
his videos were too harsh or critical on her during the duration of this drama?
I mean, I understand Crow's intention on defending me. I have nothing to say on that specifically. However, it could have been worded very differently. Um, like words that have a very negative connotation, like disgusting, trash, or any words that could lower someone's self-esteem, is something personally that I would avoid, because I believe despite all of the things a person has done, you still need to be respectful in how you word things, especially to such a young audience. And it's like I said earlier, brutal honesty versus professional approach. It's difficult to mix the two, and I believe that if Crow used other words which were less impactful, it shouldn't have led to more videos. But knowing how Mika can react to videos in general, she would have made either a community post or a video either way. So it was not going to be solved with just words.
True, because like we've seen her delete posts that are like on you and on other people that are mentioning like her behavior and telling her like, oh, you don't do this, you can't do that, because you were showing full evidences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can understand because like they did not consent to it, but since you did it on your video, like it's fine, but if we do it, like it's not okay. It's like we need to ask for your consent or we don't do it at all. That's a form of
Mm.
silence.
Mm-hmm. I do agree on that. It's kind of unfair to see, for example, Mika sharing my conversation screenshots to a lot of people and then say, oh, but why did you leak our conversations? That's not cool. Then why did you link ours in the first place? It's like trying trying the absolute best to shift the blame on someone else to remain safe. And it is in a way something a way to silence another person. Even if she didn't mean to, it is a way to silence the other person who just wants to speak out. And that's why I was afraid for so long to speak about this, because I knew deep down that she would probably use this tactic to escape from any form of guilt.
And
Um,
that's the reason why, like, for us, that we need to eventually step up. Like, we know what Crow said that, like, we need to teach her that this behavior is wrong and it's influencing children.
yeah, it is influencing children, and um, the way Mika uses words obviously is more closer to children because it's simpler words. And as for me, I'm an adult. I can't simply go back to using simpler words because there's a lot to explain, and obviously I'm gonna lose track of a lot of audience.
It's true because
So
we have, like, a wider range of vocabulary to use that we as adults understand, but as children that they can't understand clearly.
mm, that's why I'm never pressuring. Even in that video, I'm not pressuring people to read the document. It's only if they want to or if they have the courage to go into 240 pages.
I noticed. It's a lot, and I think my opera wasn't handling it, but it's at least like you're showing the evidence to them to understand like this happened behind closed doors. You need
I
to
mean,
understand.
I was either a Google document with all the evidence, or it was gonna be a video way too long,
I think like
way too long,
with
and I simply couldn't put my audience mixed of kids, teenagers, and adults watching something that has the entire length of a Netflix episode. I just
it
couldn't.
it's probably not as long as like a K-drama episode, to be fair. That's 1 hour if you watch the
Mm.
Penthouse. But yes, that is true. Like
That's what I'm saying. I went on a speech website to check how long my document was going to be if I were to speak about it. It was slowly closing to an hour, so I couldn't possibly put my audience into watching this. I had to make a smaller video to express my feelings overall in general and then promote in a way the document. And then people will be like more open to read at their own speed instead of like watching and every 5 minutes processing what in the world just happened.
it's it's like it's like you're trying to listen to an audiobook.
Mm,
Right? I think that's all I
But
can.
not but not
What?
but not everyone has the ability, the attention to listen to an audio notebook.
To be fair, because Mika's audience are like minors, they don't have the fast, like the longest attention span as us, we, because like, TikTok has like at least 1 minute per video
Mm,
you make, so that's the reason why like their attention span is getting shorter and shorter as we speak.
mm.
And I think that's all the questions I can ask, but I'm actually glad that you're brave enough to talk to me and, well, tell your audience that this happened behind the scene, and we can clarify, well, the document, because not many people can actually clarify this on their own paces eventually, because it's a long document, it's a long way to come here and express this. It's
Yeah, that's why it took me 2 whole weeks to actually do a step back, acknowledge where I messed up, and pretty much go over uh anything that either hurted me or showed that I could have been better in some situations. And it was a lot to work on, a lot to realize that it shouldn't have escalated this way. It all started because Mika wanted to have credits on videos from Wise Fox without even consulting him privately, and Wise Fox did everything he did for those videos by himself without getting inspired by Mika, so he shouldn't have to credit. It all started from that. And now we're talking about possible doxing, we're talking about bullying, slander, defamation. It went that far, and it shouldn't have went that far. And I think everyone involved agrees on that.
And yes, that's how we need to tell our audience that this drama shouldn't have gone longer, and if Mika just could have went on and forgot about this drama, things wouldn't have escalated into this situation, this interview to be exact.
Mm.
But I'm glad that we were able to clarify things. Like, if you want to add on with something, let me know. I'll show it. And I actually want to try and take time to actually make a full video on this, like a full clarification of the document.
Mm. A lot of people have done that already. I mean, I've seen two. One in English and one in Indonesian. But the guy in who speaks Indonesian asked me in private before to pretty much read and translate for his Indonesian audience the document.
I
And I was completely okay with it. So you're not the first one who asked me about making a clarification or an explanation video related to the document. And again, I do not mind, like I said in my short video, I do not mind if people use my document for their own videos.
because you said you were open to like try and clarify it for the younger audience in a
Mm.
way they can understand.
Mm.
All right. Thank you for your time, Flo. I'm really glad that you're able to like sit down. I know I woke you up at work,
No,
but
no,
I'm so
it's
sorry.
fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Don't
it.
worry at all.
All right. So I'm actually glad that we're able to clarify things, and I hope that if I ever release this video, I want this to actually spread to all the audiences that were actually affected by this and are actually confused.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Flo's opinions are correct, but the way Mika treated Flo in that time, I disagreed with. This was back 4 months ago. It wasn't that big of a deal. Like, if I was in Mika's position and someone as big as Flo was saying I'm wrong, I'd be pretty pissed off too. I probably wouldn't start talking her, but I'd be pissed off. But what 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 I guess upset me was how she was trying to hurt Flotalendy, which is where I was like, "What the dude?" and wanted to at least let my thoughts be heard, and maybe I could defend a friend of mine. Now, that defending a friend of mine turned into a giant hate campaign against me, but you know, at least Flo knows we care about her, and I think we've made a lot of progress to show people like Flo that we stand with them, if that makes sense.
It
Unless I'm
so-
completely overcomplicating a simple question.
No, I actually can understand that because sometimes we have to take the shot in the foot so that we can actually tell people that, hey, this is wrong, stop doing it, and look at what's happening with an open mind.
Yeah, so, just jolly stuff right there.
I also did ask this to Flo, but like, do you ever think that the videos you make about Mika can be like harsh or at least too critical, even though we are trying to like spread awareness of her behavior?
Okay, I cannot lie, maybe a bit too harsh.
Yeah, I watched your videos as well, and I'm like, damn, the language
Yeah,
vocabulary you have.
I I have a tendency to use quite powerful language. I always have. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe my background is just. I just wind up being quite defensive and well offensive. But I don't know. I will admit. Maybe my language could have been a teensy bit nicer. Especially in the Mika is Disgusting video, while the title is just my usual title if you look at my channel. Maybe I could have
Toned it down a
done
little.
less insulting and more piling evidence on her. But I think the overall message I was trying to get across, I do actually stand by. And, the execution could have been a bit nicer. I will make the argument that the execution worked.
I-
So, it's kind of a thing like it was a bit shitty, but I mean we got there in the end.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I don't know.
Although I think
I don't
the
know.
effect
Not
of
sure.
your language did upset the fans more than how it upsets Mika, but I'm pretty sure we know as creators that we can't always use harsh language at each other.
Yeah. Well, I know for next time.
Alright, this is something that was really curious about since the allegations about it. Like, do you think Mika tried to forge the doxing allegation to victimize herself? Like, we know you debunked this about
Yeah.
bec-
Um.
because
So Austin.
okay, you can start first. I'm sorry.
No, you keep going.
I did want to say that when I was talking to Flo, she said like she's not sure and it could just be all allegations because doxing is a threat, to be fair. Hold on. No.
Flo's probably just trying to be unbiased, as she always is. She's perfect. Look. So she very well could have been threatened. I just really don't think so. So I've been threatened to be doxxed because of this. Let's just make that very clear. I just don't piss on about it because I guess I just don't have any reason to be fair. Mika very well could have been threatened. Probably not by my fans. My fans are sexy. But very well could have been. It's just the way she tried to say that is she tried to use that for sympathy and didn't give any evidence to the point where it just seems like she made it up. Maybe she didn't make it up in the way that I'm saying she did, which was fake the screenshot, but very likely she emailed herself, especially considering the fact we proved twice that the dates were completely off. Now, faking an email like that would be the perfect plan in her opinion.
Although
Because, you know, if she gets to walk away from a tough drama and have everyone support her, why wouldn't she want to do that? It's just a low move, and she got caught out on it.
honestly, to be
Anyways, you go.
fair, with what I thought, personally, when I was actually do was actually analyzing your videos, that you did have a point. Like, they were, you said 3 hours apart, right?
Yeah. Was it 3 hours? I think so.
Because you show the email was delivered at 12, almost 1 actually, from what I know. And then the screenshot was taken at 3:40 something. So nearly close to 3 hours.
Dude, I can't remember if we had a specific time on the original one, did we?
I think I think it did. I'm gonna double check the video on that, but my point is that she
Oh,
could have.
Late.
The point I did want
It's
to
late.
understand. You're sleepy. I get it. I'm so sorry.
But a tough day, as you might. No.
All right. I think we can say that it's either between being alleged or she did forge it, because she didn't show the email, nor did she show the name.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can only do like 2 more questions because I don't want to keep you up late. You have work.
No, it's okay. It's okay. If you want to do more, it's chill.
All right. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I actually want to ask something. Like, this is like the recent live stream you said, like, why do you think Mika tried to turn to copyright striking you, even though you're actually shedding light to the situation?
Easy. She's pissed. So, I think somehow I managed to really get to her head. And because I managed to get to her head, she really wanted to basically silence me in the same way in like politics and like oppressive leaders, how they silence people, go against them. It's I don't want to say similar to that, as there are some pretty disgusting examples of that, but you know what I mean. So Mika was getting like a lot of hate, and rightfully so, especially with the whole hashtag Mika downfall thing. She was seeing a trend that maybe not as many people support her as she would have thought. And for her, in her little, what I would say, quite narcissistic mind, might have been pretty daunting. And so, what she wanted to do was remove what she sees as the reason for this. She doesn't see her own actions as the reason for this, but rather my yapping as the reason for this. And so, she devoured a plan, which was, well, I mean, get me harassed and hopefully kick me off YouTube, but that didn't work. So after the apology didn't work either, and she's getting all this she, I don't know, something went on in her mind, and she was like, why not delete the channel? And so in her mind, copyright striking was a good idea, because that would quite literally silence me. It would cut off my financial, well, I wouldn't call it benefit, but money I get from the channel.
Your income.
It would cut off income. Sure, words are hard. It would cut off my ability to post, make videos, and potentially have my channel deleted. This is peak silencing. While it's completely unhinged and unethical, it would do what she's trying to achieve. Because if she deletes my channel, who the else is going to speak out about her? Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. But most people wouldn't. Rightfully so. If you're terrified of losing your channel, like, you have every right not to yap about it. And most people wouldn't yap about it. I probably would, because I'm unhinged, but it would scare them. It would scare everyone into silence, and it would silence the person who's speaking out. Now, a lot of you people are speaking out. Good on you, but I seem to be one of the ones that piss her off the most. So, unfortunately, it didn't go very well, and now everyone's quite quite fucking pissed at her for it. But you know, anyhow.
I do want to say something
Next
because I do want to add on something with what you said because I know that what she's doing is actually almost illegal, we can say, because she's falsely striking your account, your video.
We can say illegal. It's pretty sure it is illegal. It's false DMCA takedown. It's very much against the law.
It's true, and if you want to reinstate it, you have to give her your full docs, as in real name, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Because likely YouTube would accept the appeal, but I would have to dox my full legal name, and she absolutely would publicize that.
And that's what we're afraid of. Like,
the problem is, it would be my dead name and legal name and information to trace me back to where I live, and her fan base has shown that they are willing to hurt me. If my address just got out like a few years back, if my new address gets out, they will. I don't want to say kill me, but I will have like knives showing up on my doorstep or a bomb. So that's what I'm afraid of. Well, I'll be up till 1 a.m. anyways. I'll have to jog.
Alright. Last one, and I think Flotalendy did answer this very, very clearly for me. Like, do you seek forgiveness to Mika if she apologizes properly and addresses her issues clearly and truthfully to her fan base?
What was the first part?
Would you seek forgiveness to Mika if she apologized properly? Like, address the full situation and would explain it clearly and truthfully to her fan base?
Okay. So, I would forgive Mika if she apologized to Flotalendy, to me, and don't forget Wisebox. If she apologized to the appropriate people and named them, and doesn't try and reword the situation, doesn't try and guilt trip, doesn't try and victimize herself. She admits full wrongdoing, and she apologizes to Flotalendy, Wisefox, me, whoever else she I don't know about Ajax. I think Ajax was
I think now got into that trouble as well. I think, but I'm not sure because I'll be interviewing her in the next 2 hours.
Right. Just apologizing to the correct people. Admitting full responsibility, like naming the correct people, so her fans know who is the victim of this. Admitting that she was wrong, telling her fans what she did wrong, and then taking a break for an appropriate amount of time and actually committing to change. Then I would forgive her and potentially take down what I've done from her. Well, no, I like leaving things up, but if she can demonstrate she's willing to actually grow from this, then sure, I'll forgive her. It's just she's making apologies to save face and then still does the behavior she's done. That is my problem. And the fact that she was willing to take away my career for speaking out against her shows me that she's just not going to insult her, because that would look really bad.
You know, this is actually going into a video, so I'm glad you didn't insult her.
I know, right?
That's what we're gonna have to try and do. Like, we have language barriers at this point. If we do not want to piss her off, we might as well limit our vocabulary.
Gotta save it for mine.
But yeah, thank you for taking your time, even though we just suddenly started this interview while I was feeding my dogs.
No, right?
Yeah, so I do hope you're going to rest well, and I hope please don't get your channel terminated or something. But yeah, take care, go to sleep, please.